everything's okay if I believe. Will you go away? I try to break you, but I always lose. The one thing I hate it, but I hold on to my curse. No matter what I do, the habit always finds me. The habit always finds me. I crawl through dirt to take the hurt. Life on the line just to prove my worth. But it's all a game just to keep me hanging on your every word. So lie to me, tell me everything's okay if I believe. Will you go away? I try to break you, but I always lose. The one thing I hate it, but I hold on to my curse. No matter what I do, the habit always finds me. The habit always finds me.
Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Once again, new series for us here, the Midwest Days of Thunder Cup Series. Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. This is Rocky Game 150 brought to you by Jinx Shifters. Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Jason from your Signature Esports.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Midwest Days of Thunder Cup Series, where we are coming at you live from the land of tornadoes. I'm your host, Alan Brown, and I am in the booth by a kind of smelly guy because he's been on pit road. But Adam Turner, how you doing, man?
I'm good. Yeah, it's a change for me. I'm not down on pit road. I'm up in the booth with you, which is actually nice. You have a good spread up here. All kinds of sausages and things. It's really nice up here. Yeah, this is the Severe Weather Country 225. So severeweathercountry.com. Twisting through Tornado Alley. And that's kind of what they're going to do today on this racetrack. They're going to twist and turn and hopefully make a good race of it.
Yeah, and down there on pit road, we got a special guest reporter with accolades too short to even count as anything, but we got Alan Kuhns. How you doing down there, man? Did Adam leave his cooler down there for you?
I'm doing good, and yes, Adam did leave his cooler down here. I'm going to need it because it's going to be a hot one tonight.
Yeah, and you're not kidding, a hot one today for sure. As we take a look at today's race info, a boiling track temperature along this 1.5 mile speedway in Kansas. So that's going to be something to watch, is the tire fall off, as these cars will start to slip and slide and get tight as the racing goes along. Our key to the race today is going to be shaking off some rust. These guys are just coming out of the All-Star break, and we're about halfway through the season. So it's time for those guys that haven't performed quite yet to start performing. Otherwise, their chances at a championship are going out the window.
Yeah, I don't expect these guys to have too much rust. They've been racing with each other a super long time. Like you mentioned, the tire wear off with the hot track. I think our fuel window is around 50 laps, and I think those tires may go out before the fuel does, and that's where you're going to get a little dicey.
Yeah, these guys are the best of the league, so they really don't need a whole lot of practice here.
That's right. They don't need a lot of practice. They're getting a little practice in right now. Basically, we run Midwest Days of Thunder runs Cup, ARCA, and Xfinity. This is the top tier guys. And another thing, Brown, they have 0 fast repairs. So once they break it, you're gonna have to sit to fix it. And I think that's what makes these guys race fairly clean. And they all know each other, and it's a heck of a series.
Yeah, just kind of like you were saying there, race car backwards is still race car, but race car upside down, that's expensive.
Yeah, you don't want one of those. Your day's over. And you're talking about, there's point standings here, and looks like the Italian Stallion from Arkansas, Eric Fiorello, is in first place with the Angry Idiots team. Joe Neidig right now is close behind, driving for Latte Motorsports. And then you have Manny Valdez in third for Bash Brothers Racing. So we're not just talking about this race, we're talking about the championship for this series.
Yeah, and you would think, now that we're so far into this season, you would think that people like Michael Pempere, who's down in 15th, or Greg Klein, also of the Angry Idiots, down there in 19th, they haven't been racing too good, and they kind of got to get some results here, otherwise they're being left in the dust.
Yeah, Greg personally, I've watched him. I've seen him. He's just having a rough go. It's when it seems like everything's going the wrong way. At some point, that's got to turn around, because he's too good to be sitting back there, and I think he'll make a push tonight. I know he can. He's good at these 1.5 miles for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Greg is he's a great driver. He's in the hunt for the Xfinity Championships. He's just having some bad luck in this series.
Here for qualifying, we'll take a ride around in the gyro cam with Manny Valdez, who's probably one of the quickest guys here. He held the fastest lap time in practice, so we're going to look to see if he can keep that momentum going through qualifying here. Two laps of qualifying. Do you guys think your first lap or your second lap is going to be your best one here, knowing that the track temp is so high and the tires are going to fall off very, very fast?
Probably the second lap, Alan.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the second lap, because you're still on those colder tires as you come out. You got to warm them up a little bit before that car gets moving. So lap number 2 is going to be your best lap here.
As we are watching the Facebook chat, we thank you all for joining in. We got a whole bunch of people in here rooting for the 22 of Justin Barkley in the mac and cheese car. We'll go take a look at him here in a minute, as Manny currently sits in the second position. Mike Simone actually is in that first spot right now, which he's been up there, but slowly but surely. And there we go. Manny's taking that spot back away.
Well, that's not surprising. Are you telling me Mr. Mac and Cheese has a fan club? Is that what we got going on tonight?
That's apparently what we got going on tonight in that famous mac and cheese car.
Yeah, well, drive it like you eat it, I guess. I mean, why not? That's a cool paint job. But like you said, Manny is up front as usual. No surprise.
As the field is starting to finish up qualifying, got some kind of close times there up towards the top. Not a whole lot of difference, and even though this is only a mile and a half, the draft does come into play here.
Yeah, it does, and but we're going to see a lot of, I think, flattening out the start. I think they're just going to try to ride for a little bit and maybe draft off each other, try to save some fuel, save some tires, and I don't expect too many fireworks in this race until maybe later in the end, but I could be wrong, you know, you never know.
As we watch Isaac Degner here finish up his qualifying attempt in the classic paint scheme of Golf. That's a nice looking car there in the 98. Looks like he's just finished up and he will be taking 13th. We still have a few guys that haven't taken a lap, but they probably won't by the looks of it. Lance Hill, Eric Fiorello, Derek Schimmel, and William Brown IV have not taken a lap yet. Surprising from William Brown because he's typically one of the guys you see up towards the front of these races quite often. But we know like Eric and Derek, they tend to sit in the back and bide their time towards the end.
Yeah, and patience is a virtue. This is 225 miles. You don't want to get it all at the beginning. You're going to have to sit back and watch the other guy make a mistake. And I'm looking at one of these racers here, Red Stick Mike Simone, looking at his car, Gnarly Barley car. That's a awesome paint scheme. I'm pretty sure he painted himself. He does a lot of paint jobs for these guys in this league.
And like you said, we'll do another quick shout out to our sponsor of this week's race, and that would be Severe Weather Country Expeditions. They're there for your exciting vacation. If y'all ever wanted to take a vacation and thought, you know what would be cool? Let's go storm chasing. Well, they're the ones you guys want to see. They've got whole week plans all set up so you can go out there and see those funnel clouds, tornadoes, and all that crazy weather that the West typically has. Feel free to go check them out on Facebook at Severe Weather Country Expeditions and online at severeweathercountryexpeditions.com.
Yeah, wouldn't that be a crazy experience, Mr. Kewins? I
agree.
I live down here. I live down here in it, and I live it and breathe it every spring. So maybe they need to stop on by and have a cold beer at my house when they're traveling through.
Yeah, that would be nice. And like I saw some of those pictures that they have on the Facebook and their website, and man, they don't just put you 100 miles away from it. They're getting you right into it.
Yeah, they're driving all over the place, look like, from Nebraska to Texas. I mean, I don't know if it'd be my idea of fun, but it sure seems like it'd be exciting, kind of like jumping out of an airplane. Mr. Kewins, you ever done anything crazy like that?
No, I've never jumped out of an airplane or decided I was going to play an actor in the movie Twister.
Fun fact here, that you bring that up, my cousins were in that movie. At the beginning of the movie, they were in the movie at the fireworks stand, so there you go. Full disclosure.
As our field starts to take to the grid behind the pace car down on pit road, let's do our official qualifying results and grid for you. And Manny Valdez, no surprise in the 72, winning pole position over Mike Simone, who placed second. Matt Fornes is going to start there on the inside second row, with Michael Buckley starting on the outside. Greg Klein starting in fifth with the 24 of Joe Neidick starting on his outside in sixth. Pete Van Sprundle starting in seventh with John Neidick starting in eighth. In ninth, we got the 22 Mac and Cheese of Justin Barkley. And in 10th is Stephen McComas.
In 11th, we have the number 5 of Taver Mowry. And starting 12th, we have the 73 of Justin Malarkey. Isaac Degner is starting 13th tonight, followed by Alan Dixon in the 31. Starting 15th is Anthony Frey in the 64.
And following up, number 16 in 16th place, Corey Wakefield. Number 21, Michael Pumper out of Maine with a very cool paint scheme, American themed. He's in 17th. And showing William Brown in 18th, Eric Fiorello 19th, Derek Schimmel in 20th place, and it shows Lance Hill in 21st. The two Angry Idiots are back there in the back.
As the pace car leads them around, coming down the entrance to pit road, Manny leading them off here, getting ready to take that green flag to go racing. And here we go. Manny down below that solid white line on the inside apron part of the front straightaway, getting a nice jump on Mike there, going down into turn 1, having a nice gap. He will hold the lead quite easily over Mike, as we got battles going on behind him for the 3rd and 4th spot. Looks like Greg Klein is trying to make a move up through this pack, but maybe not quite getting the run there. But he got it. He's now up into 4th. We have movement all over this leaderboard. We got 6th and 7th being fought over, with Joe Neidick and Pete Van Sprundle 2 wide racing down through the front stretch, with John Neidick sitting right there behind him, looking to pick up some pieces.
Yeah, they're kind of sorting each other out at this point. Still double wide a little bit back here in 10, 12 position. So they're racing and trying to sort out, who's going to be the boss here for a little bit until they settle it in.
Looks like the 8 of John Neidick is slowly moving backwards, as Taver Mowry now goes to pass him up on the inside.
Mr. Coons, what would you do? What is your strategy on a track like this, 1.5 miles? It's hot as heck outside. What would you be doing?
I would try and conserve my tires the first 5 or 6 laps, let them get warmed up, and see where we would go from there. If I'm fast enough, I would try and move up. If not, I would try and ride it out and hopefully take people off as they come.
Yeah, I like that strategy, and you got to wait for somebody to make a mistake. But
No,
there's
you don't
still,
want to use your fast repair up right away.
well, there's no fast repair in the big
That's
boys
right.
league. So
Yeah, I'm coming from the Xfinity series where we still get at least 1 fast repair.
right, that's for sure. And ARCA, you get 2. So it's a progressive series. Midwest Days of Thunder. Y'all check it out. Real cool racing series, and you can work your way to the top here. They're still back there 9th, 10th, well, beyond.
Yeah, this
Too wide.
battle for 10th is absolutely insane, as someone's down there on the apron getting quite squirrely. That would be the 21 of Michael Pumper. He kept it together and held it down there on that apron, so no issues, but man, he's just now lost a whole lot of momentum and a whole lot of ground.
Yeah, and that something like that, he saved it. He didn't hurt himself. He didn't hurt anyone, but he's, like you said, momentum. It's going to be hard for him to catch up back to the pack here, but I think he can do it. He's from Maine. We got racers from Maine to Spain here. There's guys from all over the country, and that's what's kind of unique about this series as well.
As we look here for the battle, oh no!
Yeah,
Who
Mr.
is
Dick,
Joe
the 31
Neidick
car.
getting loose and into the wall a little bit. He saved it again. Nice job saving that, but he lost position to Mr. Matt Forns there, as they are kind of starting to spread out just a little bit. But the gap between first, second, and third has grown quite exponentially.
Yeah, well, that was a little casualty there with Mr. Dixon hitting the wall. Then he hits the number 48 car. William Brown, I think he went into the grass there.
Yeah, but we still got a crazy battle going on here for the 9th and 10th spot. Justin Malarkey looking to get a run here on Taver Mowry. Admit out of all this racing, man, up front's been, you know, a little slicey and dicey, but back here, this is where the racing's been at.
Yeah, they're getting at it right now. Justin Malarkey is trying to get Tabor here going into one.
Yeah, and battle for 15th and beyond is they're still racing back here in the back too. So that's what it's all about. Everybody's trying to figure out their lane and push forward.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about it last night in the ARCA race, where these guys needed to have a sense of urgency as their season is coming to an end, and you can kind of start seeing that trickle over here. Some of these guys are driving with a big time sense of urgency, trying to make up some spots.
Well, they're trying to move up the leaderboard is what they're doing. We still have a lot of time left in this series, but every point counts. Every time you lead a lap, you get an extra point. Every time if you get the most positions gained, you get an extra point. So everything helps in the long run here. You got to make the chase to the playoffs.
And it looks like the number 6 of Lance Hill, he did not take the grid, so it looks like he may not be racing tonight. We'll let you know if he does come out on track, but as of right now, he has not come in. As Isaac Degner is mowing the lawn down there on the front stretch.
Got her back on track though.
And these guys are good. They might lose it, but they're gonna try their best not to, you know, hurt their friend, hurt their neighbor, and keep pushing forward. And that's kind of what we've seen here. You know, we've had a couple of guys get loose, but save it. You know, and that's what this is, the top league, the top drivers in this Midwest Days of Thunder series. So, and I think they're showing it right now.
Yeah, a lot of cars not in the preferred position on track, but they've all managed to come away with it relatively unscathed. I'm not saying they're not going to have their bumps and bruises, but you know, we're not have not thrown that caution flag quite yet, as the battle for 9th and 10th and even up to 7th is still going on strong.
It looks like this battle for the lead is heating up a little bit. You got Mike Simone catching Manny here.
Boy, that's interesting. Oh, Red Stick Mike, he can race, but him running here with Manny is something kind of new at the beginning of the race anyway. He usually finishes fairly high. Let's see what he's got in that car.
As John Neidick is trying to get around Greg Klein on the inside, but he might have burned his tires up just a little too soon, because it looked like Greg got a nice run on the outside there. So this might be one of those situations where, as your tires are wearing out and heating up, that outside line might be even the preferred line to kind of stay into the gas just that little bit extra longer.
Yeah, you can keep that other guy pinched down and take his runaway coming off the corner.
Well, that's a real racing term right there. You sound like you kind of know what you're doing there, Mr. Kewins.
Maybe. I might have turned a lap or two in my time.
Yeah, you have. Well, I'm watching old Sneaky Pete lose a little bit ground to Tabor Mowry here in the 7th and 8th position. Wow. And Tabor just kind of made a good run on him. Sneaky Pete, you know, he's usually up there.
Yeah, and look who's lurking behind him. That would be the 73 of Justin Malarkey. He's usually up towards the front as well, so he's probably just shaking off that little bit of rust he had from that long break and starting to work his way back up through this field as he's making a move around the outside of Sneaky Pete. But does he have enough room? It looks like he does.
You go right behind. Sneaky Pete's losing some ground. Stephen McComas is coming on in with Michael Buckley behind him. See what happens here with these guys.
And, you know, that's the other thing now, too, is with these older tires, the more you have to fight, the more you're giving up time for cars behind you to gain, and even more importantly, the cars in front of you to pull away.
It's a cat and mouse game at this point. You know, don't show all your cards just yet, right?
Right.
We're in What lap are we in here? 18th? On the 18th lap of God knows how many, 150 laps. We got a long way to go, boys.
We're not even halfway through the fourth.
Oh, as Stephen McComas and it looks like Justin Barkley get into it, yellow flag is waving. We will have to take a look at that one.
Yeah, that was unfortunate there. Looks like number 70 cars. Was that Stephen McComas there?
Yeah, the
got
70
pushed
of
against the
Stephen
wall.
McComas got up into the wall, bounced down right in front of Justin Barkley. Man, that is a shame. These guys were going quite well without a yellow there, and just a little too much there for them to handle.
Yeah, that's sorry for the fan club watching out there. Mac and Cheese is gonna have to get it. Gonna have to get that thing straightened out. Hopefully, it doesn't have too much time in the pits for some optional repairs. Looks like he's going around, but he could be underpowered a little bit with that hit he took.
As we
Like
see the
got
cars.
everybody coming down pit road.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think you would almost be foolish if you did not come down at this point, as we kind of watch this race off of pit road. So after a long, I don't want to say a long, but a decent green flag run like that, if you're Mike Simone or Matt Forns or any of these guys running up there, what are your thoughts on trying to maybe tame Manny a little bit and stay on his bumper more? Because by the end of that, Manny had at least a half second on second.
There's still a lot of time left. I mean, you could pressure Manny, but like we said earlier, you don't want to show all your cards yet.
Right, and you're gonna have to have a little luck. You might have to have Manny kind of make the mistake, but you need to stay within striking distance, because Manny can sometimes overdrive his car in that Zaxby's number 72 car. He can drive, but sometimes he pushes it to the far limits of the vehicle itself, and he tends to make a mistake. That's really what I'd be looking for here.
Is that a new paint scheme for the 72? Man, that thing's looking sick.
I believe it is a newer
I
paint
agree
scheme.
there.
Yeah, it's kind of chromed out. Zaxby's fastest chicken in the South.
Another paint job that's new to this week, and just so happens to also be this week's sponsor. That's the number 8 of John Neidick, and he sent me a little info on, hey man, you might want to take a quick look at my driver suit. So we'll go now live to in-car to take a look, and man, he is all SWC expeditioned out for this race.
You got to do it for the sponsors, right? I mean, this is what this race we're racing for. They're providing us a little bit of help for the league with their sponsorship. So man, he's going all out. That car looks pretty awesome. I don't think it could survive a tornado, but maybe he can drive it through one here.
It might be fast enough to outrun a tornado.
Yeah, it's definitely probably that's true.
I don't know. I live up here in the New England state, so we don't get too many of those tornadoes, but I'll have to take your guys' word for it.
Well, you don't have to take ours. You can get on a severe weather country expedition yourself and come down here and visit us. And maybe John will put you in that car with him, and you can just fly right past it.
Maybe. As the pace car comes down pit road, Manny going again all the way down towards the infield, getting a nice run on Mike Simone, so he'll hold the lead down into turns 1 and 2. But it looks like the 10 of Matt Forns is gonna fight Mike for that second spot, and as we look at them there, they're 2 wide right behind Manny.
We're 2 by 2. Well, now 3, almost 3 wide there.
Yeah, these guys are trying to keep up and make up a little ground when they can, because they know it's going to settle out. It should. So make the move while you can.
Dustin Malarkey going underneath Matt Forns in the 1.
And Justin Malarkey, like we were saying, kind of started towards the back. He's up 9 spots and now into 3rd. And we typically see him up towards the front at the end of these things, so we'll keep an eye out on him.
Yeah, they're just. I don't think they're shaking out the rust. I think they're getting back into full form pretty easily here.
So you see Mike Simone now setting the fastest lap of the race so far, catching up and trying to get to that bumper of Manny to try to take over. Excuse me, that's Mike Simone, not the. I don't know if I said Matt Forms or not on accident, but no, it's Mike Simone trying to catch a run here on Manny and possibly take the lead away from him. But that's a battle. We'll have to see what shakes out.
Well, if you're him, and you know Manny's attitude, are you just trying to let him drive his tires off right here? Are you just pushing him for that reason? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure myself. I mean, if he can stay comfortable and push him at the same time, I would go with that. But you know, I wouldn't bank on cautions coming out every 20 laps.
No.
This race could go green for a long way.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it works out on tracks like this. They settle out, kind of single file, and then start making their moves through, making their pit stops, and they're working together as a team. So that's what we may end up seeing here.
As we look at Matt Forns and Joe Neidick fight for the 4th spot, but Matt getting a little bit loose, and man, he checked up that whole group quite a bit, but he managed to hold on to the 5th position. And
we got the Michael Simone underneath Manny here, coming to the line.
Mike Simone dropping down below that white line down on the apron. We see Manny do that a lot on these restarts. Doesn't look like he had quite the run on him. But man, look who's sneaking up to their back bumper. That would be the 73 of Justin Malarkey.
Yeah, those two guys fighting so hard is helping out Malarkey at this point in time.
This is exactly what he wants to see. These two guys using up their stuff.
That's 100%. And if I'm Matt Forns, I'm surrounded by 2 brothers out of Ohio. I might want to let them through. I don't know. That's me.
Man,
but
we're 3 wide racing back here for the 12th spot.
So Degner got in the wall a little bit there. Everybody's still moving along. Might have had a little help from Anthony Fry, but they're still cruising.
And the 48 of William Brown, the 22 of Justin Barkley, and the 80 of Pete Van Sprundle. Three wide racing here on lap 30.
There's a nice guy with cars. You had 5 cars you could throw a blanket underneath right there.
Yep, and they kept it clean, and that's what these guys they tend to do. They have 0 fast repairs, so they're going to try their best to not knock the paint off of these things.
Now as we kind of move back up towards that front pack, and Justin Malarkey taking the 2nd position away from Mike Simone. So we have a new P2, and let's see if he's got anything for Manny coming down this stretch.
I don't know if old Red Stick Mike overdrove his tires and or what happened there, but he's losing a little bit of ground, but he's still in P3.
There's a large gap behind him to 4th, so he's got some room right now.
As we say that, the battle for 4th is still going on strong between Joe Neidick, John Neidick, and Matt Forns.
Matt's still stuck back there with those guys. He'll keep it straight, race clean. Just be prepared. You have a gang against you at this point. It looks like he's being overtaken here by Joe and John.
And Stephen McComas just finally left the pits, getting the damage he needed to get done on that race car after that first caution of the night. So we'll see if he can't make up any ground. But as of right now, we got Alan Dixon is the lucky dog who is 1 lap down.
Red Stick Mike dropping back a little bit. Neidig boys they're headed up front.
And
These boys are really racy right now.
you know, that's surprising because John Neidig is on Neidig Racing, and Joe Neidig, I believe, is on Latte Motorsports. So you got two brothers on two different teams. You know, I don't know if they're necessarily helping each other out, but you know, they're currently working really well together to move their way up towards that front group.
Well, I bet they helped each other out in the schoolyard, so you don't think they'll help each other out here? I'm pretty sure if it comes to it, they're going to help each other out one way or another. Greg Klein and the BJ's brewery machine still hanging in there. Angry Idiot, I think he's running top 7, you know, and this is what he needs. He needs top 10 for sure, trying to move up in the points, and that might be going through his mind right now. Don't make anything too drastic just yet here. Just kind of play it cool.
As we saw, the 16 of Corey Wakefield and the 5 of Taver Mowry trade a little door paint there. They were able to hold it together. Again, these guys are pretty good. All right, thank you. They are not brothers; they are cousins. Those Neidig boys.
It's blood. It's blood, isn't it? So, blood's thicker than water is what they say down here in these parts.
Justin Malarkey, he isn't letting go of Manny quite yet. He's still 3/10 back.
As the field's starting to kind of single file out quite a bit, and everyone's starting to settle into their groove. You know, we all pitted back on lap 19. These guys got roughly, 50 laps of fuel, so we're talking about pitting around. Whoa! Man, who was that? That was the 27 car getting all loosey-goosey coming down that back straightaway. He was able to hang on to it, but Mike Simone, and he's starting to have some issues. Oh, man. Looks like the 48 of William Brown starting to have some issues, too, as he was bouncing along the wall back there.
You think maybe Mike Simone could have used up his stuff?
Oh, I think so. I mean, I do. It's tough out here. It's hot. Those tires are wearing out faster than you would think they would be. William Brown was having a little bit of trouble too. He's recovered.
And John Neidig having some issues sliding back down to 8th. So that's going to be a lot of distance to move up again.
What's interesting is the distance between Malarkey and the number 3 car of Joe Neidig. That's quite a bit of distance they put on. The top 2 have put on the field.
Yeah, almost 3.5 seconds.
Yeah, these...
Cumans, do you think if you got a draft partner here, or 2 or 3 or 4 of y'all, you could make a little run at all?
I don't know if you can run down Manny. He might be too fast.
As we see him, he's going to start to actually catch up to some lap traffic right now. Looks like he's catching up to the 70 of Stephen McComas. And, man, easy work of that one. But, it's kind of getting to that point of, if lap traffic's going to be an issue or not. Who's going to get the better run and who's going to move out of the way for you?
I mean, let's look and see who the teammates are here. Or have you made any enemies in this league? Sometimes stuff carries over for weeks and weeks, as we all know. It's a long season. Tempers can get heated a little bit, and some people do not forget. You know, so we'll see if any of that comes out today.
As we kind of look here for the battle for, man, this is the battle for ninth still, hanging on to that kind of top 10 area. It's got Michael Pimpere, Michael Buckley, Mike Simone starting to battle back, and William Brown trying to work his way up through here.
Yeah, they're playing leapfrog back here. Seems like somebody will get a run, they'll come up, and then they'll get a run on someone, and that's just kind of racing, you know.
As Michael Buckley looks to move to the inside of the other Michael Pimpere, and he will get the move almost all completed, and he does as Pimpere heads up kind of towards the wall there, just letting him by. And man, there's little races going on all over the place, and as Stephen McComas kindly drops down to the apron to let all these guys go through.
Yeah, that's the good sportsmanship we have in this league. I mean, he knows he's slow, he's damaged. You're gonna have to let these guys through you. I'm watching Mike Pimpere, the 21 machine. That is a good-looking paint job he has.
As the mac and cheese Justin Barkley car starts to move back up through the field after that first caution, he's now back up to 11th, making the pass on William Brown there. So be on the lookout for him to make a late charge here to gather up some bonus positions.
Oh, it looked like the 48 of William Brown tagged the wall behind him.
He's been having a little bit of trouble today with that 48 machine. He's been in a couple incidents. I don't know if there's something broke on that car or not.
Yeah, and you know, we've seen quite a few cars now push out wide and head up into the wall. Do you think it's just a matter of these tires going that much, or these guys racing it too hard and just not remembering their marks to turn in and lift and brake and all that?
Well, we have run, 25, 26 laps on this set of tires now, so they probably are giving up some time, losing grip.
And it's super hot. The track is still hot. The sunshine out here in the sunflower state. Just a lot of heat out here on the track, so those tires are gonna feel it.
As we kind of look back at the battle for 13th, we got Pete Van Sprundle, Mike Simone, and Derek Schimmel lurking in the background, all looking to take over the 12th spot of Michael Pimpere.
Oh, Sneaky Pete making a move, look like right there.
And it's Sneaky Pete making the move with Mike Simone following right behind him, trying to go around the outside of the 21 car.
Sneaky Pete machine is kind of mystical. Flames all over it, blue and red, and kind of eye-popping.
And we go back up to our leaders. Manny Valdez still leading this race, but Justin Malarkey right hot on his heels, only 0.2 of a second behind him. And man, talk about trying to line up and go bumper for bumper. That's Justin Malarkey hanging on to that draft, moving down towards the inside. Does he have the run to get the pass going? Not quite. But man, he's not sitting around waiting no more. He is trying to make some moves.
Well, he might have hung back there a little bit and saved his tires so he can have the long run speed.
As he drops down to the apron line again and not quite getting the run I guess he wanted, so he'll fall back in line a little bit. That's I'll ask you guys this. because it's something I've never really understood because it never worked for me, but does dropping all the way down there actually help you out, or do you just kind of wasting your tires a little bit trying to drop down onto that apron?
I personally only do it during qualifying. I like running the middle and so I can get that good entry into one.
Yeah, and I personally, it just seems like another way to crash if you're me, because you're having to come back onto the track, and there's a little difference in the pavement and everything, so that's not my deal.
As the Stephen McComa's car again politely stays high for the leaders as they come through, and man, these guys have a 8.5 second gap on third, which is Greg Klein. So Greg Klein making some moves late here, but I don't think he's got enough to make up 8.5 seconds.
I think he's probably praying for a caution at this point. And whoa!
Speaking of which,
There it is.
looks like it was the 26 of Michael Buckley. Oh no, I'm seeing some smoke come from that car, so his race might be done, unfortunately, from that. Let's take a quick look and see what happens. Oh no, did he just get loose? No, that was the, who was that?
The 16 of Corey Wakefield.
The 16 of Corey Wakefield. What happened there, Corey?
Super hard hit by Buckley onto Wakefield, and I think we got a few more dents, dings out here behind him.
Man, I don't know what was going on with Corey there, but he dropped down into the apron, and man, he caused a big pile up in that.
A lot of cars involved.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think we may have some guys that their day may be done. You're down there on pit road. I see a bunch of smoke coming from Buckley's machine. You think he can get out of there?
No, I don't think he will, as Isaac Degner, I believe he was a lap down, maybe not. So I think Isaac Degner might be your new leader, just taking a quick maybe 2-tire stop. But Manny Valdez and Justin Malarkey coming out next with Greg Klein following them. So no, excuse me, Isaac Degner stayed out. He did not pit. That was the 24 of Joe Neidick coming down pit road. I believe he was a one of those damaged cars and might be a lap down, trying to get his lap back. And so now you've got Isaac Degner up there, not pitting on very old tires as he now comes down. I think he was just trying to get a lap back or something.
And maybe the bonus point is what he was looking at there. So he would have got chewed up if he'd have stayed out there on those old tires. Everybody's got to come in at this point. It was like ice skating out there.
As we're now just past a third of the way through this race, we're going to take a quick little break, but we'll be right back with you guys with some more action when we take the green flag.
Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Once again, new series for us here, the Midwest Days of Thunder Cup Series. Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. It's Rocky Game 150 brought to you by Jinx Shifters. Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Jason over here, Signature Esports at Work.
right, we are back. The lights on the pace car are off with Manny Valdez leading us off on this restart with Justin Malarkey on his outside. Greg Klein starting in third. The 10 of Matt Forn starting in fourth. Derek Schimmel moving up 15 spots to start in fifth, with Mike Simone starting in sixth. Mike Pimpere is in seventh. Eric Fiorello up 11 spots starting in eighth. Taver Mowry is going to restart here in ninth, and John Neidick is going to be rounding out your top 10 as the pace car leads them through the exit of 4, pulling down pit road. Manny getting ready to take the green flag as it's waving right now, moving again down to that apron line. Justin Malarkey will follow down there as he's not letting his bumper away. Greg Klein getting a nice clean jump there on Matt Forns will slide into the third position, but Justin Malarkey there looking like he is able to hang on to Manny just a little bit better than Mike Simone was.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see what Justin Malarkey can do with Manny here this run, since he's starting right behind him now.
And Derek Schimmel moving up into fourth, getting the pass on Matt Forns done right behind those guys. So,
And there's a yellow.
and we got a yellow flag. Man, that is a bummer. Did you see what caused that? Because I did not.
I did not as well, and I'm actually a little surprised at all these cautions here, man. This is unlike
Oh
this guy.
no! It looked. I think that was that Sneaky Pete and Sneaky Pete and Isaac Degner getting into it on that restart. I don't know what happened there. If there was a communication error with the spotters, but Sneaky Pete turning Isaac Degner down there on that front straightaway. So I don't know. We'll just have to re-rack it up and start going racing again.
To me there, it looked like almost Isaac thought he was clear and tried to come down on him.
And that's the all-important spotter role. I mean, I know I race better when I've got, a real-life spotter, but sometimes these AI spotters can not work as good as you would like.
No.
No, I think the human eye is always better, as long as you have someone you can trust in there. It looks like Taver's coming down for some more pit action here.
And this is going to be an interesting play, because we're now kind of getting down to it where after this caution, we've got we possibly could make it on one more stop after this, depending on how the race kind of unfurls. So
This might help these guys out.
we'll have to keep an eye out there for the Nidicks and Justin Barkley, Taver Mowry, Isaac Degner, Eric Fiorello, all those guys coming down here, because if this thing turns down into a fuel mileage race, these guys might have the upper hand. They're going to have fresher rubber, even though we only had a couple laps under green there. They're going to have that just slight edge coming down through here if we have a long run.
Do you think your key to the race has maybe come full circle here? Shake off the rust? Maybe it is actually coming true.
I think so. I think everybody is pretty much all shook off whatever they needed to shake off, because, we've had, from the get-go, we saw people kind of losing it, slipping and sliding and whatnot, but for the most part, everyone's been able to save it and keep on racing. Just a few, I think, mental errors going on right now, but no, I think the rust has been thoroughly shook off and everybody is ready to get this season back going.
I wouldn't be surprised if this race goes green the rest of the way.
No, I would love to see something like that. Maybe a green flag pit stop. That would be kind of cool to watch. But it's going to get racy at the end, like we know. People like to win, so maybe we'll see something crazy at the back end of it. But I'd like to have a nice green flag run here and see what these guys can do. As we got two angry idiots in third and fourth: Greg Klein, BJ's Brew House, and you got Derek Schimmel in the Hooters machine. So they're trying to make their moves.
We talked a little bit about the individual standing. Let's talk a little bit about the team standings right now. Latte Motorsports has a somewhat commanding lead over both Bash Brothers and Angry Idiots. They are tied for that second position with Nidic Racing just 2 points behind them, looking on the outside. So, the race for the team championship isn't quite over yet either, because Latte still needs to finish off this last half of the series relatively well. Otherwise, these guys sitting back here could easily overtake them.
The owners' championship is a big deal to these owners. They want to win that.
Yeah, they do. That's prestige a little bit, right? And then you get your the up-and-coming drivers from your ARCA series and Xfinity series. Maybe they'll join your team if you're the winner, right? So there's some bragging rights for sure. And I know everybody around here likes to win and go fast, and usually just turn left.
As they stack up behind the pace car, getting ready to go too wide, racing again. Manny Valdez, your leader, with Justin Malarkey on the outside, and Greg Klein and Derek Schimmel sitting right behind them. Let's see if Justin's learned anything now that he's started right up next to Manny once, if he can't figure something out as the pace car comes down pit road, getting ready to take the green flag. And away we go. Manny going down low again, and it looks like Greg Klein kind of learned and started to join him down there too. Don't think it quite helped him out, but yeah, it might have, because Greg Klein now battling with Justin Malarkey there for that second position, fighting down the inside.
And outside lane's fighting back though.
Look at them; they're still too wide. They're battling it out, trying to shake it out and see who can end up there in the front. And two angry idiots, guys. It looks like they're going to try to work together to get up there.
As we see behind them, Mike Pepper kind of just hanging on to Derek, maybe just waiting for a mistake to happen, but we got a race back here for 9th and 10th between Joe Nidic and Mike Simone. Looks like Joe getting the pass done to take away 9th, but man, we got a gaggle of cars just sitting right behind them. Isaac Degner, Alan Dixon, Justin Barkley, all wanting their chance to move up.
Yeah, at this point, you might as well. This is, kind of how things have worked out. You want to get up. You kind of want to be up in the front now. I don't think right in the back isn't going to help you out too much here.
Oh, we are getting close to halfway here, so you need to start thinking about the end of this race.
These races are definitely marathons, and I beat that to death. But this is a long, long race. 225-mile severe weather country.com. 225, 150 laps, and it's so hot they may make their own weather down there with these cars going around so fast.
Now we'll take a look to see the battle that's going on in front of John Nidic here, and just so you guys see what these guys see, man, you got cars strewn all over the place as they're 3 wide in front of them up there.
If I was John, I'd just hang back a little bit and let these guys race it out.
Well, you're from Ohio. You guys don't like to sit back and do anything. You always want to fight it out and duke it out. Let me ask you this, since you're up there. Do Ohio and Michigan, do they like each other? We had this debate last
No,
night.
they do not. Especially when it comes to their college football teams.
That's what I thought. Now we straightened that one out there, Mr. Brown.
It's a good one to straighten out, as Justin Malarkey and Greg Klein are still fighting over that second spot to see who gets it. Greg kind of sticking with that low line, maybe burn up the tires a little more than he wants, but he's slowly inching his way forward on Justin Malarkey. Still not quite getting the pass completed, though, as Justin is battling hard to stay up there. At this point, I wonder if Malarkey might even try to save tires a little bit, just let these guys go by, because, I mean, we saw towards the end of that run, he had more tires than Manny.
Well, you don't want to get stuck behind too many people, though, because you let them pass you, and you got to repass them to try and catch Manny.
Yeah, I think you're right. You're gonna wear them out at some point anyway. At what point do you do it? What time do you use them up? And that's a strategy deal that they would make with their teammates and their spotters and their crew chiefs here.
This is exactly what Manny wants, though, seeing these guys race it out so he can stretch his lead a little bit.
And the current lead is about half a second and slowly increasing. I mean, that also goes to tell you kind of what clean air is like here, too. Yeah, the draft is nice, but at some point, having nothing in front of you probably is even better.
Manny's making it look easy, kind of like he always does. But back here, 8th and beyond, these guys are still too wide here every once in a while and pushing through these corners, trying to make moves.
And it's Isaac Degner trying to get a actual pass done correctly on Pete Van Sprundle there. Their kind of positions are swapped, as, man, they looked like they were almost ready to go 4 wide, but some of them...
It's a small hornet's nest back there.
Some of them getting ready to just back out of it and say nope.
It looked like Matt Fornes in the Rainier beer car out of Washington. He said no thank you. He backed out.
Looks like for now, Pete Van Sprundle and Isaac Degner figure things out, but going behind them is still a, like you said earlier, throw a tablecloth all over those guys, because that's how close they are.
Anthony Fry's still sitting in the pits.
And this is why they're in the Cup Series. They're racing nose to tail, side by side. Not a mistake on one.
And usually they recover from the mistakes here for the most part. Pretty clean racing, although if I was the gambler man and we do have a bookie amongst us, I wouldn't have thought we'd...
Especially if they weren't in the All-Star race. So, you know, like I said earlier, shaking off the rust was the important part, but they shook it off pretty quickly, and for the most part, the racing's been extremely interesting and very clean.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen anything. There's been nothing intentional. It's been all accidental. People just kind of overdriving their cars here in that hot surface y'all have down there on pit road.
Looks like the front 4 are now single file, starting to put a gap between each other.
Yeah, nice little gaps there, kind of up, you know, got a half second to second, got a little over half second to third, about 3/10 to fourth, but after that it opens wide up.
I'm watching number 5, Taylor Maurer in the Busch Latte car. He's moved up a couple spots. I think those, I'm pretty sure he got tires there. I think it's helping him out right now as he comes up on Red Stick Mike Simone for 10th.
The first person I have with fresh tires, I think, is Joe Nidick in 6th place, followed by Eric Fiorello.
Yeah, I've got that as well. They are slowly inching their way up through the field, and again, not a whole lot of laps different, but we're when talking about green flag laps, but 6 laps between the pits in total, and that accounts for caution laps.
If this race goes green, them 6 laps could be the difference maker.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, and that's all the strategy. Y'all have been on these teams before. You kind of map it out how you want it to go in your team in your head before the race. You try to stick to your plan, and that's probably what these guys are doing out here.
The battle in the back is starting to spread out a little bit now too, but we got a little bit of action. We got Joe Nidick creeping up onto that back bumper of Mike Pimpere, and it looks like Mike will just let him go without too much of a fuss. I wonder if Mike is figuring out how much tires he needs to get to his next pit stop and how much fuel he might be wasting if they're battling that hard.
Well, and as that was going on, looks like Manny ran into a little bit of lap traffic and slowed him down. Gave Justin Malarkey just a little bit more time on him here as he's kind of honing in on him. I don't know if he'll be able to get him, but he's sticking with him.
It looked like Malarkey was slowly reeling him in, and that really helped him there to gain some more time.
As you see, the gap differential just about 2/10. We'll see later on. We saw late in the runs, Justin had a slightly better car, so we'll have to see as this thing plays out, and if we get any. Excuse me, I got confused there because I thought Justin was going to make a move, but not quite. As this thing goes on, and we're going to have green flag pit stops, maybe, every second counts.
Every position counts. Every second counts. You try and get as much as you can.
How tired are y'all of driving at this point, especially when you're in traffic? I mean, how's your concentration doing at this point in the race? Because we're quite a ways along here, and they got to be struggling a little bit out there.
I think they are. They might be a little bit, but the guys in VR are probably struggling more than guys on the monitor. But yeah, man, we're racing on Friday nights. It's been the end of a long work week, and for some of these guys, maybe even a school week. But even though we're in the summer.
And they have been off for 2 weeks, so fatigue could come into this at the end of the race.
Yeah, I'm just tired, kind of sitting here. I'm up in the booth today, and I'm not down there in the heat like normal, and I'm still just kind of wearing me out watching these guys go round and round. It looks like it is not easy to handle, especially as we get to tire wear. Angry Idiot has moved to 6th. Eric Fiorello, the Italian stallion from Arkansas, he's kind of hanging in there, making a name for himself in the Powerade machine, number 25.
It looks like the 24 machine of Joe Nidick is slowly inching in on the 96 of Derek Schimmel.
Slowly but surely he is. Derek Schimmel, our current hard charger of the race, up 16 spots. And, we usually, if he's going to be, if Derek's usually up at the front, it's usually towards the end, not towards the middle. So Derek having a nice run around the track today. being in that fourth, now fifth position as Joe works his way around on the outside. I think Derek realized his tires are gone, and it's time to just let him by.
Yeah, he's having a heck of a race, like you said. I think he's got the stamina here to stay up there till the end of this thing, as long as he can keep it clean. The other angry idiot, 92 Greg Klein, is just cruising along in third place. He's real good at doing that. He knows how to cruise along here.
Looks like the race for 7th and 8th is heating up here a little bit. Or 7th and 6th, sorry.
Yeah, that's the 98 of Isaac Degner and Eric Fiorello starting to tighten up, as we also have a little battle going on between Van Sprundel and Pimpere back there for 10th.
Yeah, those two are side by side. I don't know if they're trying to side draft each other or knock each other off the track. I don't know if we have any bad blood between those two guys, but there you have it.
And Mike was able to save it, but there might be some words later on in the Discord channel being like, "Hey man, what was that all about?" Even though I think Pete just got a little bit of tight and went up the track a little bit, but
I'm not sure if they have bad blood or not, but they were side by side for quite a ways there, and nobody was giving it an inch.
We are getting 30-some laps on these tires at this point, so their tires might be giving out on them a little bit.
Yeah, old Sneaky Pete won that battle. He's sitting in 10th place. We'll see if Pimpere can come back from that damage he received.
yeah, the battle for the lead is still kind of about where it was when we left it, about 2/10. We're now kind of starting to filter in almost to that pit window. I would say, with about 2 more laps, you could maybe just make it if you're really good on your fuel saving. But we will have to wait and see on what people decide they want to do, as these tires are, I'm sure, getting very, very worn out.
Well, the 98 car of Isaac Degner doesn't look like he's wearing the tires out. He's driving past Derek Schimmel, the 96, and Tabor Mowry's about doing the same here.
Justin Malarkey, he hasn't let Manny get away from him this run. He's there.
So do you think he's learned something riding behind him that long? Maybe he's kind of getting in the groove with him and learning his technique and just staying with him?
Yes, but do you think Manny is saving his stuff and is just trying to run fast enough to stay in front of Justin?
That's a good question. I don't know what's going through those guys' heads at this point in time, but they're definitely strategizing. Yep, strategizing for sure.
As we saw, Justin Malarkey getting a run on Manny there, but unfortunately Michael Buckley was kind of down on the inside and threw a little bit of a pick there, so he was not able to complete the pass.
Well, they don't call him the fastest chick in the South for nothing. I mean, he's ready to make blocks. He's ready to do anything he can. He just likes to win.
Looks like Derek Schimmel the last couple of laps has lost 3 or 4 spots. He might be ready for a pit stop. Them tires might be slipping and sliding on him now.
Now, so here's the other thing you got to remember too: is the earlier you pit now, yeah, you might be able to make it on fuel, but tires are going to be kind of feeling like this towards that end of the run. You know, they're. I don't know if you want this worn out of a tire that late in the race to make up some ground and maybe some positions at the end.
So what you're saying here, Brown, is you would stay out for a little while longer so you would have some fresher tires at the end.
I'm saying I'm happy I'm not the one driving these cars. That's what I'm saying.
No, 100% for sure on that. But I mean, you're going to have to pit here, and we have not seen a green flag pit stop. And these guys practice it. You know, the pit road speeds and all that. You could get sent to the end of the line, or you could get penalized, or in some form or fashion. So that's going to be an interesting deal too.
And, you know, that's it as well. So, I mean, you're hitting speeds of 180 miles an hour around this track, slowing down to the pit road speed. I believe it's, is it 45 or 55?
45.
Pit road speed of 45, which is a lot slower than 180. So checking these cars up coming down pit road, we might see a few mistakes down there.
Well, this battle for one with Malarkey and wow, they're getting after it right here.
He's all over him.
Just Malarkey on the inside, trying to stay down there. Let's see if he's got the tires, and it looks like he does, or at least Manny's just going to let him by. Maybe do a crossover coming down the back straightaway. Doesn't look like he'll quite have an answer. So your new leader, the 73 of Justin Malarkey, again, you know, he's no stranger to being up front. You know, he does have a win, but, you know, at least for this race, I mean, Manny's led dang near the entire thing. So now he's got to chase back down Justin.
Justin, he has the better long run car, it looks like, over Manny. And he's probably wishing this race goes green the rest of the way.
As we are now starting to get some takers, Justin Barkley and Matt Forns coming down pit road. So they should be able to make it on fuel. I believe, yes. As of right now, everybody who will pit now will be good on fuel. It's just a question of, will you be able to save enough tires to make a run for it at the end?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question right now. And if you're sitting here in the lead, when are you coming in? I mean, what is the deal with those guys? I think they're going to push until they run out of fuel. Personally, it looks like they're not losing too much time on these tires at the moment.
No, I mean, they still have about 4 seconds on third, which is Joe Neidick currently. But the other thing you got to remember, you're now starting to contend with lap traffic too, which is going to cost you some time.
If I was Manny, I'd short pit this and have a fresher set of tires for a lap or two than Justin. And hopefully he would make up that distance.
And just as you say that, Manny coming down pit road, and it looks like his entry was pretty solid. So now we'll just have to watch Justin to see when he pits.
Well, you called that, Coons. I mean, right on the money. That's exactly what he's doing here.
Well, if I was Justin, I'd be pitting right now then.
I'm with you too. I'm on board with what you're thinking.
And
here
he
comes.
Calls it again. Little squirrely on the entry, but not too bad. Joe Neidick coming in hot as well. So we're now starting to see these guys come down through. So Greg Klein is going to get the bonus point for leading a lap. And got his teammate behind him, Eric Fiorello, also an angry idiot. I have a feeling these guys are communicating and being like, hey man, I'm going to take this lead lap now. I'm going to pit. You take another one later. And that'll share our bonus points here.
I
Oh.
guarantee that's what's going on right now.
Yeah, and Greg needs that bonus point because, like we said, he's had a rough season, and every point's going to help him here.
Oh,
And
no,
Eric
and
Fiorello is leading.
Eric Fiorello is pitting with Greg Klein, as well as
Oh.
Isaac Negner and Alan Dixon. Derek Schimmel also coming down pit road. So that will, I believe, cycle us through the entire field as Justin Malarkey is coming back around
And
out on
Manny's
track.
coming though.
Manny's coming in hot, so we'll see if Justin can get up to speed. Not quite enough to hang on to the lead, but he's going to be right there, right on Manny's bumper.
Well,
If I'm
as I-
Justin, I'll take that as a win right there. You're faster than Manny on the long run, and you're coming out right behind him.
Yeah, he's still sitting pretty. I wouldn't worry about that. Eric Fiorello, we thought he was going to try to get that extra bonus point. He is actually leading the point standings right now in overall points. So, but we'll see how he ends up here.
And it looked like Derek Schimmel had a rough pit stop there, so he dropped a few spots back down to 13th. But he's got some fresh rubber now, so we'll have to wait and see how that pans out back there to see if he can't sneak his way back into that top 10. But right now, Eric Fiorello, your hard charger, up into 5th, up 14 spots. But Justin Malarkey is also up 10 spots in 2nd.
Well, I mean, now it's go time now. So
You have what you have at this point.
that's correct for sure.
Yep, everybody has enough fuel to make it to the end. It's just a matter of how well do you treat your tires.
If I'm Manny, I would try and save here, and because we know Justin is fast on the long run.
He should, and I think he will, and all these guys actually should. When 10 to go, that's when he's going to have to put the hammer down and just go for it.
Yeah, and an unfortunate day for William Brown. His day was done. He's going to be quite a few laps down, I believe. He came in on lap 46, and I think that's when he called it quits. But we still have 19 drivers out there driving around trying to make up whatever they can. Because, again, we are in the second half of the season now, and every little position matters.
Yeah, everything counts, especially when you're twisting through Tornado Alley like the severe weather country expeditions do, and that's what we're driving there, the severe weather country 225. And we're right here where Toto got pulled away from a tornado, aren't we?
Do you think we'll see Dorothy and the Tin Man out and about?
Well, I'm hoping so. I don't know what else there is to see in Kansas but a bunch of waving wheat. Beautiful place. I'm not trying to dog Kansas, anybody from Kansas, but it is a lot of wheat.
And it looks like Stephen McComas was having an issue there, and he took a tow down to pit road. So I don't know if he's calling it a day or not, but we'll have to find out. But your current leader, Manny Valdez, with Justin Malarkey 0.3 of a second behind him, but after that, it is nothing but a whole lot of space.
I'll ask you a question, Brown. Do you ever get tired of talking about the fastest chicken in the South up in the front?
Do you want an honest answer?
Well, I mean, it's just like every week he's just he's up there winning and winning and winning. I think we're gonna have to slice his tire or something, bring it back to the field.
I don't know. He's got one win on the season, but you know, like you were saying, I think he would have a whole lot more, but he was having technical issues earlier on. Technical issues have not been a problem today, though. So, but man, you know, when someone's just that good, as much as you get tired of saying the name, you know, you gotta give him props.
Respect the talent.
Gotta give him props. He drives the wheels off of that thing week in and week out, and I mean, it just kind of goes to show.
Lead is really tightening up here with Justin right on his back bumper.
Well, I know he puts in the man hours for sure.
So yeah, we also have so Joe Neidick overtook Greg Klein. So Joe Neidick is in that third position. Greg is a little over, I think, 6 seconds behind him. So Greg's gonna have to do some fighting and clawing to work his way back up through that. Eric Fiorello is in fifth, 2 seconds behind him, and Isaac Degner, probably the one of the closest battles we've got going on, is about 3/4 of a second behind him.
Everybody's pretty spread out here. It has a long run type of feeling to it.
It does, but Taver Mowry, Alan Dixon, and Pete Van Sprundle, Taver Mowry being in that 10th position, they are all relatively close, all within about 3/10 of each other. Oh, as Alan Dixon slides up high down into the wall. He's able to hang on to it, but he's going to lose a position there to Pete Van Sprundle. He's going to have to work hard to get that momentum back and maybe try to get back up to Taver to get a top 10 finish here.
I heard a little bit of chatter here on the radio with the 25 car. I'm not sure what's going on with him, where he's setting, but kind of some movement here at 5th and 6th position.
It looks like Isaac Degner got around him there.
Isaac Degner pretty easily getting around him. Let's see what was going on. If there was... Oh! Had some lap traffic and looked like Isaac was able to use the kind of unforced pick maneuver on Eric and easily getting the pass. So lap traffic starting to cause a little issues out there for some people.
Yeah, and tempers are getting... they're starting to flare up a little bit. We're midway through this season, and these guys have been racing together the whole year. They know how each other drives. They know who's got into it with them before. So, you know, this is where the fun part starts right here. Few more laps to go. What are we looking at? 30 to go here.
Yeah, just inside of 30. 29 laps to go, I believe. As Justin Malarkey tries to claw his way back up to Manny Valdez's bumper. But I think we're going to see probably some more racing action between these two. Probably with closer to 15, maybe even 10 to go. Because I think that's when Justin's car is going to be just that much better than Manny's.
Oh, he's going to try the outs, huh? Nope,
No.
inside here.
Oh, yellow flag. Michael Pimpere having an issue right there, I think, in front of the leaders.
Well, it was him and Sneaky Pete. I think we saw that before. We're going to have to take a look again. And something's going on here.
Oh, man, that's, I don't know what's going on there.
No, I think I mentioned something about tempers flaring, middle of the season. I can't say because I'm not sitting in that race. I'm not sitting in that car, but we've seen these two get into each other before.
Yeah, that we have, and man, that looked like there was some hard racing, some door rubbing, and it looks like they both went down to the apron, and as they were both coming up, just not a whole lot of room.
We talked about that earlier. Some of us don't like to do that because it upsets your car when you try and re-enter the track.
Right. I think Pimpere looks like got the worst end of this, but all right, we're pitting, aren't we? Wouldn't you boys be?
Oh yeah, everybody's pitting. As Manny, man, locking up the brakes hard coming down pit road. Now, if you're one of these guys, do you gamble it and take two?
I think there's too much time left to take two. Maybe if there was 5 to 10 to go, I would take two, but not now.
Yeah, I'm totally on board with that because you have too many laps to go, and once those two start wearing out a little bit, the left two aren't going to work as well. So you'll be getting laps. So the smart move would be to take all four here.
Manny took all four, and that's for sure. Looks like Justin Malarkey took four. I think everybody taking four, which is, like you said, the smarter of the moves. Really no movers on that pit stop, doesn't look like. So everybody having a pretty good time on pit road. As looks like Derek Schimmel is currently in the lucky dog position. I don't know whether or not he will get the wave around. As he came down quite early down pit road, so we'll see if he gets his lap back.
Well, I'm hoping he does. I don't want to hear him.
He was having a really good race.
Being angry, yeah, he is. He's still having a good race. I mean, he's sitting there at 12th.
As Michael Pimpere's engine blows up under pacing, and that will do it for him tonight.
Wow, he's had a rough one. Oh, poor Michael Pimpere from Maine, man. His day's over.
And so, that might be something we have to look at later on in this series is Michael Pimpere and Sneaky Pete. They might have some beef going on.
Well, I have noticed a couple things in a few previous races, but today it looked like it came to full fruition here.
Them boys was racing each other hard there.
And that's a part of it, They're racing for position, and getting frustrated at the same time. The car you can control is the one you're behind the wheel of. You got to remember that.
So we will do a quick field rundown as they start to go too wide here. Manny Valdez, Justin Malarkey up front with Joe Neidick and Greg Klein right behind them. Isaac Degner sitting on the inside of Eric Fiorello in 6th. Matt Forns in 7th. Alan Dixon in 8th. Taver Mowry in 9th. Mike Simone in 10th, with Justin Barkley being the last car on the lead lap in 11th. Derek Schimmel in the 96 in 12th, with Pete Van Sprundle in 13th. John Neidick in 14th. Corey Wakefield in 15th. Currently, Michael Pimpere scored 16th, but he will be dropping back, so Michael Buckley will be 16th. Stephen McComas 18th, and Anthony Fry in 19th.
You have William Brown back there. in the tail end, and here we go there.
Here we go. Pace car coming down. Manny looking to continue his dominating performance here as they take the green flag. Back to racing they go. Side by side they go. Justin Malarkey not giving any space to Manny this time on this restart. Side by side they go down into turn number 1. I think Manny's just going to have a little bit more of a run because he's on that inside line. But Justin Malarkey is having no give of it whatsoever. Still side by side they go down the backstretch. 2 wide racing behind him for third.
I think Justin thinks he can't waste no time this run. You don't have that long of a run to get around Manny here, so you got to get him fast.
Still fighting there on the outside. Justin Malarkey trying to get around the 72 of Manny Valdez. Side by side for an entire lap they go. Flip-flopping positions.
We had a little scrum back here in the back. Mike Simone and looked like Matt Bourne's a little bit of bumping and moving, but everybody's shaking it out. They're 3 wide back here. Dixon.
And it's up here with the leaders. Justin Malarkey leading Manny Valdez with Joe Nidick kind of sitting there in a lurker position, trying to maybe make up some bonus ground if these two get into it a little too hard.
You got some side-by-side action for 4th there with Greg Klein pulling in front of Degner.
Yeah, there's a lot of lurking and twerking going on here. This is where it gets fun, boys.
And it looks like Manny for now will settle for the 2nd position. For how long, we don't know, but everybody on fresh tires as they're going to be coming across the line this time with 20 laps to go. Time slowly ticking away, running out for these guys to make any last-minute moves. As we look back here for 7th and 6th, Justin Barkley, mac and cheese, moving up the inside of Taver Mowry.
He's just staying steady. Might have a bowl of mac and cheese with him right now with his fan club. He's working that thing. He's been doing his best. He had an incident earlier, but he's sticking to it. As these top 3 are just going after each other right now. They're burning out the tires off of these things.
Yeah, if you're Greg Klein right now, you're saying, race it out, boys. Use up your stuff.
Yeah, I think he's in the best position of all the 3 here. I'm seeing blocks being thrown. It's getting testy up here in the top 3.
Well, like we said earlier, this is the time to show all your stuff. There's no more holding back.
Yeah, we're finally here. It seemed like it took forever to get here, but we're here. So let's see what these guys got going left in that car.
Yeah, these guys have already been racing for almost an hour and a half, and they've got a little bit left to go. Fatigue starting to settle in, but that drive to win might be stronger than that fatigue. Justin Malarkey over Manny Valdez, trying to keep in front of him with Joe Nidick sitting back there and Greg Klein taking a peek there as well.
And this has pretty much been the race. Joe Nidick has kind of bumped up in here, and he's kind of starting to show his stuff. But
Looks like
go
we
ahead.
have some side-by-side racing back here for 7th with Taver and Eric Fiorello.
Through the tri-oval they go. Taver up by the wall. Eric down all the way at the white line.
Yeah, you're fighting and scratching for every point you can get at this point in the race. So we're going to see some more of that even throughout the whole field, I think.
Derek Schimmel behind him there. He's the first car 1 lap down. He's wishing for a caution.
And with how some of these guys are racing, we just might get one. Kind of go back up towards the front as Joe Neidig making a move on Manny. Oh, Manny getting into Joe there. So Greg Klein's going to be able to slide up and pass Manny as well, taking that third spot.
Well, they're from Ohio, man. They like to fight, and that's what's going on right now.
And it didn't take long for Manny to regather and come back up, looking on the inside of Greg Klein, trying to get back to that third position and work his way back up.
This is that, and you know, Manny's he's up front all day, and look where he's at now. He's got to make up some space, doesn't he?
Yeah, pretty much for the first time today, Manny is outside of the top two as he gets the pass done on Greg Klein to take third.
Well, we're going to see if Justin Malarkey has the long run speed here to keep it out in front of Joe Neidig. We haven't really seen Joe Neidig up there in second place all day.
They're coming up on lap traffic as well, so it'll make it a little bit interesting.
As we see here, Matt Forns and Alan Dixon fighting it out for 9th and 10th. With not Sneaky Pete, with Mike Simone sitting back there.
Looks like he was thinking about making it 3 wide.
Oh, and Matt Forns having some issues back there.
I don't know what happened there. It might have been some net code. I didn't see anybody hitting each other. And Red Stick Mike running just a solid race right now. He's been in a couple things, and he's still rolling along.
And Corey Wakefield having an issue. He was able to get it off the track, so no caution as Manny makes a move on the outside of Joe, and he was able to complete the pass. So now he's got a tall order of a second and some extra to make up to Justin Malarkey, which with 10 laps to go, I don't know if that's enough time.
I don't know if it is either, especially with Justin being the better car on the long runs.
He does have the better car, but I think Manny's hoping for a caution maybe here. If we get a caution, then it's going to be a shootout. Anything can happen, but well, it's not. We hadn't seen Manny that far back in a while, but he's pushed his way to 2. Still setting back a little bit though.
No, and so yeah, like we said, your leader, Justin Malarkey, quite a bit clear of everybody. Greg Klein's not too far behind Joe Neidig to maybe sneak his way up into a top 3, but everyone else is kind of getting all spread out, and they're running out of laps to put something together here.
Yeah, and this is usually when you're watching a real NASCAR race, it's just as real. It's a simulation. It's not a video game. I've said that a million times as well, but it's like a magical caution lap. Caution flag comes out, this time of the race. So we'll see if that rears its ugly head while we're watching into this one.
That's been a great race so far.
And don't look now, the gap to the leader has closed down. It's now under a second.
Yeah, he's making his move, and he's leaving it all out there on the track, that's for sure. And we'll see how this one ends.
Oh, as we have side-by-side action back there for third position just for a moment. I think the lap traffic might have affected his decision to keep pushing it.
That gap looks like it's getting smaller.
It's
Am I looking
getting
at the right?
Yes, it does.
I'm looking at the right relative here. Yeah. And what is in your mind if you're in the 73 machine at Justin Malarkey right now?
Clean laps. Hit your marks.
as we are now 5 laps to go, with the lead being just over half a second. Manny making up quite a bit of time these last few laps, and it looks like he's still making up time.
Manny, that lap was about a quarter second faster than Justin there.
He's coming like a tornado. I mean, that's been kind of the theme of the race. Severe weather country expeditions 225, and he's zoning up to it right now. It's real good racing right here.
Manny bringing it down to almost 0.3 of a second there, trying to claw his way back up.
We might have one of them classic side-by-side finishes.
Well, wouldn't that be something? I'd love to see that. Now, the way this thing's going right now, with the way Manny's pushing his car, he's
coming.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's this late in the race, it's hard to focus on anything else. It's interesting how far Manny has come in a short amount of time.
As we are now 2 laps to go, Manny just 0.4 back. I don't know if he's got quite enough to catch up. He is trying his darnest, though, as he's now back into Justin Malarkey's draft, so that's going to help him on the straightaways.
Well, if I'm Malarkey, I'm driving with my rearview mirror, and I'm getting real nervous at this
As
point.
Justin Malarkey taking the white flag, Manny Valdez sitting right back there, 0.2 of a second back. Does he have enough to make a last-minute move here? This race will end on this lap. No more cautions, as a zigzag down the back straightaway. Justin Malarkey leading as Manny Valdez goes super low, super deep into the corner, right up onto the bumper of Justin Malarkey, but a little too hard into the wall, and that will give Justin Malarkey win number 2 on the season, with Manny Valdez finishing second and Greg Klein being able to knock off Isaac Degner and Joe Nidick to finish third.
Man, what a finish of that race. Manny, he gave it everything he had there at the end.
He sure did, man. And man, what a hell of a race from Justin Malarkey. He held it. He didn't drive with his mirrors. He drove looking forward, hitting his marks. He did everything he had to do and held him off.
Man, talk about a finish. We saw Manny lead the race just about all day long until the last couple cautions there. And man, that's gotta be rough. So speaking of Manny, we'll as soon as he parks his car, we'll bring him in to talk about that race. Hey, Manny, got a copy?
Yep, I got you.
Man, talk about some heartache. You finally have some non-technical issued race. You were leading just about the entire thing, making a final push to maybe get around Justin at the end, man. Still finishing in P2. How do you think your race went?
Personally, I thought it went really good. I think we could have done a little bit more to get to him, but actually, no, I don't even think we could have. I was pushing it really hard, and I was, because on the bottom in 1 and 2, he was a little bit slower. It was just about a 10th, and that was all I needed to get in this draft. And then from there, it was just like, let's see how much I can reel him in. And I think we got to 2 to go, and I was within 0.3. And when he went high in 3 and 4 is when I kind of lost my shot at it. Because in 3 and 4 he could just, I don't know what he was doing right. He could just really take it with some speed. And then he gained another 10th on me, and then obviously we come to the white, gained a little bit in 1, and then in 3 I just gave it everything I had. I wasn't gonna take him out. I just wanted to give it as much as possible. That was really fun.
Yeah, you did, and all you needed was for him to start driving with his mirrors, and he kept focused. But you gave it all you could, man. That's a heck of a run. You fell just a little short, but you got a long ways to go. I think you're going to be fine.
Yeah, we still got a while in the season, and I already have my win at North Wilkesboro, so we're already locked into the playoffs. This P2 is just gonna. I mean, we had the most laps led, and the most. What else do we have? We had a lap led. We got the pole, so we got a couple extra points. Plus with the P2, so it's. I mean, this is an amazing points day for me and for Bash Bros because my teammate finished P4. So hopefully this gets us a little bit closer to Latte in terms of the team points. I don't know. It was a really good race. I kind of wish I had a little bit more for him, but hey, I'll take a P2 any day of the week.
Yeah, man. No, again, congratulations on the P2. We saw you leading just about the dang whole thing. And, it's been fun watching you basically this entire series, especially when you haven't had technical issues, because, I mean, you're by far one of the quickest guys out here. And, I'm sure we're going to see you in the winner's circle here again pretty soon. So we wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
Congrats.
Good job tonight, Manny.
Thank you all. Have a great rest of your nights.
Too.
Yeah, man. Talk about heartbreak, but we'll talk to the guy who it isn't heartbreak. That would be Justin Malarkey. You got a copy?
Hey, how are you?
Let me ask you the same thing. How are you?
Doing freaking awesome. I hope that was a really fun race to watch because it was fun to race.
Man, talk about a long run car. I mean, we saw you starting really far in the back there. I mean, you won the race. You're up 11 spots from where you started. So was that kind of your plan, start in the back and save, or kind of run us through what your race strategy was?
No, I just can't qualify. Though I don't understand it. It happens to me way too often. But yeah, no, the car was just phenomenal on the long run. Yeah, just being behind cars, I just felt like if I could ever get clean air and just run the lines I wanted to run and take care of my stuff, I figured I could be fine. It's just Manny was so smart about blocking the lanes. He was mirror driving. He knew where I was going, and it was just a really fun race.
That's what we were just talking about. We were trying to put ourselves in your position those last few laps as he was closing in on you, and I thought you held your marks perfectly. You didn't let him rattle you. A lot of guys would have been looking in that mirror and maybe made a mistake, and you didn't. And I think that's what put you up there. Yeah, it was fun to watch for sure. Congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, I had Isaac there was helping call out some runs, let me know when I was clear so I could get down there. And when he was poking his nose, I just was trying not to give him any of that clean air at all.
Yeah, so now this is win number 2 of the season for you. So, I mean, you're securely up into that championship's standing now. Are you now just focused ahead on the playoffs, or are you still just kind of want to take the rest of the season by the horns and, see how far you can run with it?
Yeah, I want to get much practice at all these tracks. There's so many different tracks that we go to, and that dirt race a couple weeks ago, that was interesting. I'm just trying to learn all these tracks so I could have a good playoffs.
Yeah, man. Well, again, congratulations. Second win of the season for you. Go and have yourself a beer or anything, because, man, that was a heck of a drive.
I'm going to go get a shower from sweating here. But real quick, I got to give a shout out to my Aunt Joanne. She's watching the broadcast. She's very new onto YouTube, so that's good for you guys. My sister Jamie, my brother Artie. I have a newborn Navi, and yeah, my parents are home, so hopefully they're celebrating, and we'll go from there. Hopefully my mom's getting drunk now.
Congratulations, man. That's awesome. Good shout out, man. Hello to all of them, and they got to see you shine, dude. So good job.
Yeah, thanks for all you guys do. Thanks for spending the last 2 hours calling the shots, and I hope you got a lot of views out of it.
Yeah, we'll have to see you later on about that one. But yeah, man, no, again, congratulations. We'll see you later.
Yep. Thanks to the
Good job,
sponsors.
Justin.
Thank you.
All right, so
Man,
now
he sounds like he's got quite the fan club, doesn't he?
yeah, he's got the fan club. We thought the 22 had a fan club, but it sounds like he does too. As we now bring in Greg Klein, finishing in third. Greg, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you. How you doing?
Man, dude, I'm happy I didn't have to sit in a hot race car for that one. That's what I'm happy about.
Yeah, that was a workout, but a lot of fun.
Yeah, it seemed like you were kind of up into that top 5 just about all day, but as the tires wore down, the cars struggled a bit. I mean, you and Joe towards the end there had a heck of a battle going on, and you were able to pull off a podium P3 finish. How was your strategy going into this race looking?
My strategy really was just don't die. My luck has been really, really terrible in this series so far this season, so I just wanted to not die and get a decent finish, and man, I'll take a P3 all day long.
Yeah, well, I think that P3 is going to propel you up into the playoff chase a little bit, and I think you're going to end up fine if you just keep going with what you're doing. And it looked like the Angry Idiots had a plan. How well did that plan work out for y'all?
I don't know if we really had a plan. I mean, honestly, it was just come out and just see where we end up, and try to stay out of trouble. I think for the most part we did that. At least me and Eric, we were in the top 10. I don't remember where Derek finished. He was down a little bit. I think he had some issues, but I think we did great. I mean, a P3 and a P8 is not bad at all, and we'll just go on to the next race.
Yeah, Derek was 12th, so that's not bad. And
Yeah.
Congratulations, you finally finished one without getting wrecked out or killed.
Yeah, finally had a decent run.
All right, man. Well, we'll wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season, and we'll hopefully maybe see a winner's circle trip one day. But again, congratulations on the P3 tonight.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right. We'll
Yep.
catch you later.
Yep.
Whew. I don't know about you boys, but man, talk about a finish.
That was a great race tonight. It was a hot race, but it was a good race.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the Severe Weather Country Expo 225 lived up to its name. We had kind of a tornado system go through this field of how many positions changed and on all these long runs. Man, it was such a blast to watch. Let's go ahead and do a quick official result rundown for you all right now, with Justin Malarkey up 11 positions, tying for the hard charger of the race, winning today, with Manny Valdez finishing in second, Greg Klein in the 92 finishing in third, with Isaac Degner sneaking his way up into fourth. The 24 of Joe Nidick toughing his way around the track to finish in fifth, with Taver Mowry finishing in sixth. We had Justin Barkley finishing in seventh, with Eric Fiorello, that other tie, up 11 positions for that hard charger, finishing in eighth. Alan Dixon finishing in ninth, with the 10 of Mount Forns finishing in 10th.
Yeah, Mike Simone finished 11th, not the night he was hoping for. Derek Schimmel come away in 12th. John Nidick 1 lap down in 13th. Pete Van Sprundle 14th. Corey Wakefield 14 laps down in 15th. And Michael Buckley in 16th.
Yeah, then you have the rest of the field here. Steve McComas had some trouble early, 17th. Anthony Fry, 18th. Michael Pimpere, he had a tough run there, number 19th position. And then 20th, we got the number 48 car of William Brown. I think that finishes us off, Brown.
That finishes us off because Lance Hill did not take a lap. So, thank you all for watching, tuning in to this Severe Weather Country 225. Feel free to check them out on Facebook and at severeweathercountry.com. Signing off after today's race, I'm Alan Brown for Adam Turner and Alan Coons. See you later.
We gone.
The